Hi friends, welcome back to Live at the Roxy on this World Girl Wednesday, May 26th, where we have places to go, people to see, things to talk about. It's World Girl Wednesday, which means tonight we are giving merch a whirl. You guys have already seen this sick ass sweatshirt, but it's going to be part of the merch shoot that's on tonight. And also it's gonna be different because we're going live. I feel like I'm brain dead right now in terms of I have not slept. Again, you guys know I do this thing where I don't sleep because last night there was a blood moon. Am I live? Am I here? Last night there was a blood moon. And what does that mean? I guess the moon was supposed to go red for an eclipse. I waited up all night, never watched the moon be red. Everybody else says it was red. I just saw this white ass moon. So, but I was trying to, you guys know I don't really believe in this stuff, but just in case, things have been going so poorly that I was just like, fuck it. Let me try to manifest some shit. So I tried to manifest some shit. So there's this moon. It's 4 a.m. I know the world girls were asleep. Steph had told me that you're supposed to be during this blood moon manifesting things from 10 years from now. I don't really know what it means to try to manifest anything, but I'm sitting there and I'm just thinking about like, okay, what do I want my life to be in 10 years? Oh my God, I want it to look so different than how my life looks right the fuck now. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right. And it just is not working. And I don't know. We'll see. I'll see if any of it comes to fruition, but I was up all night. And tonight, I know I'm going to be up all night as well, again, because it is the Friends reunion is tonight. And all those reviews dropped today, and we're going to spend a lot of time today talking about that, plus a Cruella DeVille, or just called Cruella movie review, because I saw that, and a couple other things. But in terms of the Friends reunion, that's going to be at midnight tonight. And then I told you guys I'm going live right after that. So my Thursday episode is actually going to be like 2 a.m. I'm going to go live and I'm going to do a real-time after show reaction to the Friends reunion. If you are as big of a Friends fan as I am, and you don't want to miss that, stay up with me, watch the show, watch my after show. If you do not care about that, damn, it's just one day of Live at the Roxy that you don't give a shit about. But you guys know this is my fucking Super Bowl, so I care a ton about this. So yeah, I was up all night last night, and then I'm going to be up all night tomorrow night, and then I have to wake up early because I've been doing intern training for AfterBuzz, and so I have to get all my shit done before that, and I have to take Grammy. I told you guys I was going to take her to go get her hearing aids, but now they pushed that appointment back, so we're going to go get her nails done because she hasn't done that in a year and a half, and she likes having them done. It's like a whole fucking to-do for all these things. But here I am, barely awake, but I'm here. My eyes last night were burning. I mean, burning. They were in so much fucking pain because they haven't been shut for long enough. And then this morning, it feels like my eyes are on fire. It really feels like this is why I can barely open them. They feel like they're on fucking fire right now. But what was it yesterday that we talked about? I don't have a job, right? I don't work at all. I should go get one of those real job things, shouldn't I? I certainly would be working less hours if I did that. See what's going on in the Super Chat and the Streamlabs, and let's talk about all the stuff that we're talking about today. Chris McGovern says, my birthday today, Roxy. Yes, Chris. Yes, Chris. Chris McGovern. Happy birthday to you, to you, to you, to you, to you. I wrote a new birthday song. How was it? Not great. Probably could have been better. Yep. Well, the birthday song's been the way it is for a long time for a reason. Happy birthday is one of the catchiest motherfuckers alive. It just really is. Has anybody ever described it that way before? Probably not. but now somebody has, and that somebody is me. Let's go into the Streamlabs and see what it is that's going on in here today. We know our friend Glenn Caesar is going to be in here. He starts the Streamlabs by saying, rest in peace, Chris Burke, and love to Avery. I stand against anti-Semitism. I stand against Asian hate. I stand against Islamophobia. I believe that Black Lives Matter. Let's go, Smets, and everyone fighting. Hashtag smash cancer. Hashtag stop AAPI hate. Hashtag I stand against anti-Semitism. Hashtag BLM. Then Glenn also says Miles Cosgrove, Brett Hankerson, Jonathan Mackley, Russ the Cops who killed Breonna Taylor, all three of them for killing Breonna Taylor. Hope today is the day just for all the people who've lost their lives due to excessive force. Hashtag say their names. Absolutely, Glenn. Glenn also says, hello and good afternoon, Roxy, and all your nicknames. Happy World Girl Wednesday. Sending well wishes and thanks for hanging out. Peace, bunnies, hugs, and good stuff to you. Grammy and Papo, be most excellent to yourselves and each other, RJ and Rockstars and World Friends. Cheers to fuck yeah news, love and laughter for us all. Each of our days, our weeks, our months, and even our years. I hope that you and each of us can find what brings you and us joy and then do it, simply losing ourselves in it. Happy birthday, Stevie Nicks. I saw that. Stevie, the OG witchy woman queen. She is my favorite. So happy birthday to her. Glenn also says, RJ and everyone who shows up to give their support whenever, however they can. When it gets tough, even by yourself, you're not alone. Everyone who's battling, keep on fighting. You're a winner. You're kind. You're smart. You're unique. And showing up for people who need it and want it makes you dope as fuck. Being so unselfishly loving the support of others, including strangers, whether it's on the internet or not, makes you humane and worthy. Your story is important and deserves to be seen and heard. Thank you, my friend Glenn Caesar. Much appreciated to you and to anybody else who shows up to give their support, as Glenn said. Whenever, however. Ben Rayner. Oh, I clicked on Rob. I meant to click on Ben, but hi, Rob. Ben Rayner in the super chat says, in an alt show, if Monica ended up with Richard and Chandler ended up with Janice, do you think that would have been good? Also, which of Rachel's sisters do you like more? Annie or Jill? I think Amy or Jill. I mean, I vote for Amy, in my opinion. So, Ben Rayner, I think that there is a world in which Monica could have ended up with Richard and been very happy, especially after he decided that he would have been okay having kids because we know that was important to Monica. I don't think that Janice and Chandler would have ever been a good couple. I think that she was not the right person for him at any point in time. And so that would not have worked. So I think the first thing could happen. I don't think the second thing could happen. In terms of her sisters, who do I like more? Do you mean which of the actresses or do you mean which of the characters? I think that Jill might have been funnier on the show. It's a close call. They were both really good. Both really good. I'm glad that it's an interesting question to have. And maybe we'll get some sister. We know we're getting some Reese, so maybe we'll get some sisterly love during this reunion. We do have more updates on the reunion that I will go over. But remember, all throughout the show today, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, super chat in. Let me know your questions, comments, concerns on anything that has to do with the Friends reunion, as all of these articles have been dropping their Friends reunion reviews, which I am seeing tonight with the rest of you guys. My Cruella review, I'm going to do an official Cruella review. And also Amazon is buying MGM, so that is interesting. And manifestation of the blood moon. Blood moon. Alone in the world with a little blood moon. Start with the Friends reunion. The reviews are out. I read a review from Hollywood Reporter this morning that kind of made me angry, but I think that it was not rightfully so that it made me angry. As I was looking at it, I was like, why do I feel this way right now? This doesn't even make sense. But I'm so bothered by this when they're not even saying anything bad about it. But I just wanted a glowing review from them. I'm going to read the opening paragraph and then explain to you guys what's happened. This is how they opened. So this is coming from Daniel Feinberg. And by the way, these people who are writing these, you never know. Are they diehard fans? Are they not fans really? Where are they coming from? So this is what Daniel said. Alanis Morissette's Ironic was released as a single in February 1996, just weeks after Super Bowl XXX 30 helped deliver nearly 53 million viewers to a two-part episode of Friends. Much of the discourse surrounding the song has focused on how its listed situations, like having 10,000 spoons when all you need is a knife, are not, in fact, ironic. So pause for a second. I feel like before Daniel watched this reunion, he decided this was going to be the premise of his article, because this just has nothing to fucking do with Friends. Now, it's really well written, clearly did a great job, but like, where are you going with this, Daniel? He says, with little of the discourse has focused on, very little of the discourse has focused on what it would actually be like to have 10,000 spoons when all you need is a knife, and how context dependent the situation would be. Like, say you need to spread butter on toast, you'd very quickly figure out how to make do with your spoons. If, however, you needed to carve a Thanksgiving turkey, no number of spoons is going to help you surgically perform the task. Having 10,000 spoons when all you need is a knife isn't ironic, nor is it inherently disastrous. It's just questionable deployment of resources. So these are the first two paragraphs of this article. And I'm sitting here as a die-hard Friends fan. And I'm like, why the fuck, as much as you guys know I love Alanis Morissette, why the fuck am I reading for the first two paragraphs about this, about a song that has nothing to do with Friends? So it's just like, okay, this person's clearly, to me, not a diehard fan because they're talking about fucking Alanis Morissette for the first two paragraphs. HBO Friends Max, the reunion, a long-awaited unscripted gathering of the 6 stars of NBC's Friends, is like 10,000 spoons when all you need is a knife. Neither as circumstantially convenient as buttering / spreading, or as inconvenient, or as inevitably chaotic as carving a turkey. Director Ben Winston, fresh off the triumph of the spring's partially quarantined Grammys, has approached the reunion as a series of games, performances, and structured bits, a relentlessly busy 104 minutes that yield an impressive array of funny and emotional moments, likely to generally, if not fully, satisfy many or even most dedicated fans. So that's where it ends, where it's like, that, it takes us 3 fucking paragraphs to get to him saying that he thinks fans are going to like this. It just seemed like such a weird ass backward way of saying this. The rest of the article goes on, and then he, as most good writers do, he brings back this premise at the end where he says, finally, your response to Friends. The reunion will come down to what you want from it. Plenty of people will be overjoyed by the 10,000 spoons tactic, and I got a lot of enjoyment here, despite thinking a different utensil would have been more ideal, which isn't ironic at all. Just think he got so gluttonous with his words and the way that he wanted to write this. I have no idea who this guy is, but it's very pretentious to write this like this when we have been waiting 17 years for a Friends reunion, and you're going to spend mad fucking time talking about the irony of utensils for what? Like, can you just jump in and tell me how this is? So this was the first article I read on it. And then immediately I was like, what the fuck is everybody else saying? Like, I have to know. This is very frustrating. I don't know what's going on. And is everybody going to just relate this to a fucking song? Can somebody just tell me, how is this Friends reunion? Luckily, a lot of other websites, I think, really took their diehard Friends fans and had them cover this. So there were a few ones that I looked through that I was like, okay, thank goodness. And then a few that I was like, how is this actually going to go? The general consensus seems to be that they worked really hard to put in a ton of different stuff in there. Like, Stefan Zubel says, what he wrote is brilliant. I'm not saying it's not well written. It's ridiculously well written, but it's not what Friends fans wanted. It's not, we don't want to read about your fucking Alanis Morissette comparison. We want to know, how is this? How is it? And if you wanted to put that in the middle of it, but like to open with it and the whole thing, it's like 10,000 spoons when all you need is a knife. And then to talk about the fact that isn't ironic. It's like, what's happening here? What the fuck is happening here? So it seems like the general consensus is that they had a lot of different things happening, like we talked about in the trailer when we did the breakdown. Actually, still think I have those things in here. We definitely are getting this fashion show type thing. We're getting this outdoor sit down with James Corden, who is going to be interviewing them. We're getting the question about were they or were they not on the break. We're getting this game show opportunity. I wanted to hear a little more about this, but the reviews didn't fully cover this one. We're getting them back in the actual apartment. We know that we're getting a ton of different guest stars, and they're going to be incorporated throughout a game, I guess, too. And we know that for most of them, what they said was the best part was actually just having all 6 of them talk and be together. The other consensus was that This doesn't reinvent the wheel. We don't hear new information that we've never heard before. A lot of this is about things that we've heard, like Ross disliking the monkey, or about the clock, and about just different things that we have heard in the years after, and not much is new information. But a lot of people also say that it's pretty great. Daily Beast calls it the one where the Friends reunion is a disaster, so we can look at that. New York Times says Friends reunion, the one with the remember the one with, which is exactly what I kind of thought that it was going to be. ABC News says that it's a gazy, tear-filled reunion for the Friends actors. That's what I like to hear. And then Page Six put out an article also, by the way, about Matthew Perry having dental work, and that's where his slurred speech was coming from. Who the fuck knows? USA Today had my favorite headline, which is the Friends reunion is everything fans hoped it would be. Love that. Love that from them. And then a lot of people said that this is for diehard Friends fans only. I am a diehard Friends fan, so I am looking forward to this. This is something I'm excited for. So Streamlabs and streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. What are you making of these reviews? I'll kind of get more into them, but I would love to hear from you guys. Paul3JP says, Richard was such a square. Monica could do better. I feel like Monica's more of a square than Richard. She did better. That said, the best couple on the show was Joey and Rachel towards the end. Oh my God, Apollo, you are next level sometimes. What? You're the only person who's ever thought that. They should have stuck with that. What the fuck are you talking about, Apollo? Also, Amazon buying MGM is wild. All for Bond, 8.4 billion for Bond. All for Bond, 8.4 billion for Bond. I don't know what that last part means. But yeah, it is wild. Let me know more of your thoughts on that, as we will be talking about that momentarily. And everybody else, Streamlabs in, Super Chat in. Give me your questions, comments, concerns, your thoughts on this Friends reunion and all of these reviews. Let's go into it. Going into some of these ones that broke it down. The Daily Beast said the one where Friends reunion is a disaster. This is written by Kevin Fallon, who says it's apparently cool to not like Friends. Maybe that's always been true. It seemed like it's since the show launched in 1994 and became a television juggernaut that ran for 10 seasons, made 6 people ungodly amounts of money, introduced any number of referential lines of dialogue into the mainstream lexicon, pivot, and remained still 17 years later the most popular and commercially successful show in the world. The series' 200 plus episodes entered the streaming arms race like the atomic bomb, launching bidding wars for platform rights. In 2018, Netflix paid $100 million to keep it for a year. Okay, also, this is all stuff. It's good background to have, but if you're a Friends fan, you know all of this. So let's move forward to see what it is they're talking about. Friends is a sitcom that, according to a stat, nope, we're 5 paragraphs in, still talking about it. The backlash was annoying then as it is now. So when tweets started popping up that led up to the special boasting provocative opinion that Friends isn't as good as everyone thinks it is, it was insufferable as it is inevitable. It's like the pop culture opinion version of cicadas littering the zeitgeist every few years on an almost reliable schedule. And in the end, little more than ugly nuances that the rest of us have to ignore to enjoy ourselves. Yeah, so that's true. I do feel like it's the cool thing to hate Friends. Everybody wants to come into everybody else's Friends thing and be like, I hate Friends. I hate Friends. Friends sucks. You know what? Friends did this. Friends did this wrong. Joey was sexist. The show didn't have enough people of color. Yes, you guys are right that there were very few people of color on the show. That's the 90s for you. That doesn't make it right. That's just, if you're looking at shows in the 90s, that happened very often, where shows were incredibly segregated. Often shows were either all black or all white. And that fucking happened. So no, do I love that part of the show? No, I don't. It's also a glaring hole in the reunion that the very few people of color that were on the show are not part of the reunion. So I don't know whether they were asked, they turned it down, or whether they were not asked, which would be kind of egregious, especially Aisha Tyler, but we'll see if that's addressed at all. But it is the cool thing to do. It's much cooler to hate Friends than it is to love Friends, which is why I love it. It's not about fucking being cool. It's about the fact that I love this thing, and it's created a huge warmth in my heart. Mention all this because on Thursday, the Friends The Reunion finally airs on HBO Max. The 1 hour and 45 minute Show will likely have Friends battle lines redrawn as ruthless as the Thanksgiving Day football. Credit where it's due. HBO Max does a stand-up job. Did this person not even see it? And yet, it's almost as misguided, confusing mess, stale when it's not overly, oh no, they saw it. Stale when it's not overly sentimental and self-congratulatory, relying on distracting stunts in place of authentic fun. I fear it will only feed those anti-Friends blowhards because it leans into the very qualities they gripe about. Then why are they watching it though? If you hate Friends, why are you watching the reunion episode? It's just like people go there just to hate on it, which makes no fucking sense. It's truly bizarre that people go there for that reason. And nothing for nothing. Not that this makes it fucking right, but just as a reminder that there were not that many shows. There were some, but not that many shows that centrally featured Jewish characters. And this show did. And that was fucking cool. And we got to see the holiday armadillo and them talk about fucking Jewish holidays, and they were the Greens, Monica and Ross. So, I mean, they were the Gellers, Monica and Ross. We got to see them talk about being Jewish, and that was fucking cool. So, everybody who's always shitting on this show's lack of diversity, I agree with those things, but they did have Jewish characters on there, and for me growing up, that was cool to fucking see, as that was not that frequent. And then you guys are going to poke in here, but this show had a Jew and this show had a Jew. If you have to say it like that, then clearly there weren't enough Jews on TV. And there's not that many of us on the planet. So statistically speaking, it makes sense. But it was nice to be able to see some Jews on screen. So this review thinks that it's stale. He says they ignored darker, more emotional elements of the show, like Perry's addiction issues and how the cast handled it, the series' racial blind spots, or the backlash to certain plot ideas like Rachel and Joey. So a lot of the things that I've already mentioned that I've seen in other places. And we knew that this wasn't going to be the reunion for that. We didn't think that this was going to be the reunion where they're there talking nonstop about all the shit that could have been better. I know I also saw in a different review that they said it seemed like they brought in the creators after the fact and they just did these one-on-one interviews that weren't really talking about anything substantial. And it was just because they felt like they needed to bring in the creators. So some people are not into it. Obviously, I'm going to make up my mind for myself. Nothing that anybody could say could deter me from watching this. There's literally not one thing that somebody could say that would make me not watch this fucking episode, because no matter what, I've been waiting for this forever. USA Today says the Friends reunion is everything fans hoped it would be. So I like this one better, as I already told you guys. This is by Kelly Lawler, who says there's no better way to spend an afternoon than with our friends. The long-awaited, much hyped reunion between 6 friends. Blah, blah, blah. She goes through. Great way to start. She lets us know she's fucking in it to win it. Then she says, Friends, the reunion gathered all 6 actors. And she kind of paints the scene. She talks about the creators, James Corden, and cameos from the guest stars. Just kind of breaks down what took place, which basically from my trailer breakdown is all that. We also know from these reviews that we get to see people, fans in all over different countries. That Malala is there, which is pretty freaking cool. Mindy Kaling discussing how much she loved watching Monica and Chandler, which is exciting as well. That I love to see. Unexpected moments, she said, that beyond rehashing this history of the show and how each character was cast that made it special, it was able to recreate the magic of Friends without pretending the 17 years haven't passed. Love to hear that. Yeah, a lot of people also mentioned how the chemistry was still so there between them and that they really went through something huge. It says Friends devotees from several generations likely won't care why the 6 of them got back together, much like the chemistry between the cast helped smooth over bad jokes of the poor later seasons of the show. Their chemistry as real-life friends makes the reunion an easy sell. Love a good easy sell. Excited for this. If you're not excited for this, then no worries. You don't have to fucking watch. Don't fucking watch. If you're going into this, like, I'm just going to watch this to see how bad it is. Why? Do something with your time that you actually want to do. That's my advice to you. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Would love to hear from you guys. Jake Yakoveta says, LOL, Ryan Payne and I actually agree with Apollo about Joey and Rachel. What? On paper, Joey and Rachel make a good couple because both of them are the 2 more shallow people. We know that she's obsessed with like actors and soap stars and stuff. But after building 9 seasons with her and Ross, it just made no fucking sense No. All 3JP and the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/RoxyStar says, what I'm saying is the only viable property MGM has is Bond. Beyond. That's their bread and butter. Amazon essentially paid $8.4 billion for the Bond. Oh, I get what you're saying. Franchise, just crazy. Also, fuck the haters, friends for life. If you know, you know. When you said 8.4 Billy for Bond, I literally took Billy as a name. Like Billy for Bond, you were campaigning for Billy somebody to play Bond. I did not understand what the fuck you were saying here. Going into the super chat, Christian Hardesty says, I'm not necessarily a diehard fan of Friends, but I love it, and your passion has inspired me to wake up early to watch the reunion and your review before I head to work. You've got me pumped. Good. I hope it's good for you. I hope it's good for me. I'm going to be really upset if it's not, but I don't think they're really going to be able to let me down because it's like my expectations are all over the place. It's not like I'm thinking this is going to be a brand new episode of the show. So yeah, let's talk about the MGM deal that you were just talking about, Apollo, and that is being talked about on Twitter right now. I think it was the #1 trending thing this morning, and I understand why. The article that broke it down best that I saw broke it down best was LA Times. They put out this series of tweets. They said, after years of waiting, predictions that a tech giant would buy a legacy film and TV studio are finally coming true. So this is just that alone is true. We have been predicting for a really long time that there was going to be a huge tech giant that would snatch up one of these final few film companies. And so then they said Amazon said Wednesday it's acquiring MGM Studios for $8.45 billion, snapping up a library of more than 4,000 movies and storied franchises, including James Bond, Rocky, and the Pink Panther. Pink Panther actually does decently well for them, I think. Rocky is one of my favorite franchises of all time, and I think just continues to teach lessons that need to be taught. And James Bond, as you pointed out, is really one of the main reasons they're paying those billies for it. Amazon said that they were doing that. The deal is Amazon's second largest purchase ever. And the second they said that, I was like, what the fuck was Amazon's largest purchase? I don't remember that studio. And then as it went on, I was like, oh yeah. And it's biggest since its $13.7 billion acquisition of Whole Foods in 2017. I completely fucking forgot about that. $13.7 billion for Whole Foods. That's a huge acquisition, but not related to this. Comes at a pivotal time as competition ramps up among streaming services like Netflix, Disney Plus, and HBO Max, where hit shows are key to driving consumers to subscribe. So this article did a good job breaking it down, but I think that is true. Everybody's looking for their thing. And Amazon, although they have some really great shows on Amazon and some really great movies and content, this is a different ballpark because now they've got already known franchises snatching up MGM. I'm sure there's going to be a James Bond series. I'm sure they're going to be pumping out more movies. Probably there's going to be some kind of Rocky show as well. I don't know exactly what that would look like, but something. And Pink Panther, who knows what they'll do with these franchises. But I think it's a pretty smart thing for them to be looking to do this. I think that price point is pretty high, but what the fuck do I know? That's not my side of things. And yeah, it will be interesting. Jake says the Broccoli family still has creative control. Yes, that is true. But also, when you're in partnerships, you do try to make things, you try to appease each other and try to make sure that everybody is happy in situations. So I think that this is cool. And I think that Amazon's a beast. I know that Darina probably is not stoked about this. The bigger they get, the crazier shit gets. But I don't know. I just am so sick and tired of paying for all different services. And MGM needed a home, and I'm fine with this being their home. But I've seen a lot of hate for this online. What do you guys think? Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Super chat in. Let me know your thoughts. I have to say, when it comes to the business side of these major acquisitions, it's not my strongest suit, but I am always interested in learning more. So sometimes you guys know even more than I do about this, and I would love to hear from you. So questions, comments, concerns, thoughts. She's a thought. Let me know. Let's get to my Cruella review, and please make sure you're sending in questions about this. This is going to be a non-spoiler review, and send in support coming in through the Streamlabs, y'all, pulling teeth is what it is. But y'all already know it's been interesting these days to be a content creator online. I think a lot of people are struggling. I fucking feel you guys. Here we go with Cruella. So let's talk about the new live action Disney movie, Cruella, that I have seen for 2 weeks. Critics fucking adoring. I sent these series of screenshots to Steph and Darina, who I think felt similar to me about Cruella because I was shocked. Here's what I saw 2 weeks ago. Grace Randolph tweeted out, I've seen Cruella. Now this is the kind of Disney princess I can get behind. Darling. P.S. We have the first officially out and proud Disney character in our gang. P.S.S. I'm rooting for Cruella, Heart Jasper. Embargo lifts 5/26, which is today. Discussing Film says Cruella is one of Disney's strongest live action remakes that gives an updated origin story for a new age whilst showcasing breathtaking fashion. Emma Stone is wildly entertaining in the titular role as she fully commits to the villain persona in a fearless and bold performance. Scott Menzel said, Cruella could be the biggest surprise of this summer. Bold, dark, and wonderfully anti-Disney. Emma Stone is perfection as Cruella. Hair and makeup, production design, and costume design are sure bets for Oscar noms. Paul Walter Hauser is terrific, and Winks the dog is adorable. Jazz Tankay said, Emma Stone is excellent. Cruella is a brilliant origin story with lots of heart. You won't be able to get enough of Emma Thompson's Baroness and Stone's Cruella. Joel Mears says, I generally have zero interest in live action remakes and or villain origin stories, but have seen Cruella and it's so friggin' good. All capitals. Slapped so hard my face is still beet red a day later. If Devil Wears Prada meets The Witches meets Death Becomes Her sounds like your jam, see it. Scott Mance, dear friend of mine, tweets out and said, OMG, I love Cruella. So much fun, dark and mature, really clever and exhilarating, smart story, and what a great payoff. Emma Stone is sensational and crushed it. Stellar production and set design, hair, makeup, and wardrobe. Really awesome soundtrack. It's a hit. See it in theaters on 5/28. I read all of these, and I have never, ever felt as out of it as in this moment. And you guys know, typically what I do, because I'm not a critic, I'm a fan and I'm an actress and I like to rave about movies. So typically when I don't like something, I just don't talk about it. If you guys hear me say I'm going to see a movie and then you never hear me talk about it again, it's because I didn't like it and I don't ever want to be that person who comes on the internet and just shits on something that piles on top of everybody else. But with this particular movie, you have to have Disney Plus. And then you have to pay $30 on top of that. And so I do feel like I owe it to you guys to tell you I really couldn't stand this fucking movie. And I'm so shocked how much people are liking it. It's certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it came in at 71%, that's lower than these reviews make it out to be. But to me, I couldn't believe this movie. Some of the editing choices were some of the strangest choices ever. I'm not sure who this movie is for. The opening scenes or the premise that's set up are really like intense and effed up. So I don't know if it could be for kids, but then it's not bold and daring enough to fully be for adults. I love Cruella. I love her character. You guys know I'm a huge fan of these live action remakes. I love The Lion King. I loved Aladdin. I love Cinderella. I love Maleficent. If there is somebody this is for, it's supposed to be me. And I watched this movie and was like, I have to tell the rock stars not to spend $30 on this. Times are tough right now. And this is not, I never want to say that, like, support the artists that you want to support. I think I would have preferred watching this movie walking around my house. The soundtrack is sick. They have banger after fucking banger. If you were a rock and roll fan, if you're a fan of songs from the past, they must have spent millions and millions of dollars on this movie soundtrack. The soundtrack was sick. It didn't go with the movie at all. it was like, what is happening here? The costumes are really cool. Emma Stone and Emma Thompson always do a great job in everything they do. So the performances totally were fine. It's the story, the actual story, and the editing that it kind of makes you do a double take like, huh? What? I would rather watch this. I would rather listen to this soundtrack 500 times in a row than rewatch this movie. I would really, really rather. I would listen to the soundtrack on repeat for a year of my life before I would want to sit down and watch this again. And that's just the truth. It's not the actor's fault. It's not the costumer's fault. It's just that the story does not land. I was not invested. They do some big reveal situation. I don't want to give any spoilers, but there's something that takes place where you're just like, I didn't care because they didn't make me care at all. So it was just so Paul Walter Hauser, I think, is one of the best working actors today. So he's great in everything he does too. Really, the performances, I didn't have a problem with any of the performances. It was not about the performances. It just, and yeah, it does try to set up for a sequel. And it has a post-credit scene, which I was like, oh my God, this thing has a post-credit scene? Maybe the sequel would be better. I don't know. And I know I'm in the minority here, but I watched this and was just like, what the fuck is everybody else watching? Huh? And you guys know I tend to love things. It tends to be the opposite. Usually when people hate things, I'm like, it was great. It was so good. This to me, I really didn't like Dumbo, if you guys remember that. This to me was on par with Dumbo. Not for me. And if it's not for me, I don't know who their target demo is. It's going to be really interesting to see what the audience score is on this one. Because just, no. Questions, comments, concerns, Streamlabs in. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Jake Yakoveta said, I like Vinnie Mancuso's review. Quote, Cruella, when it's trying to connect itself to 101 Dalmatians? Absolutely not. No, comically bad. Cruella, when it's just a lavish fashion feud between two Oscar winners serving nothing but ham? Incredible. Yes, 10 out of 10. No, that stuff didn't even work for me either. But yeah, Jake, that is a good tweet. And Vinny does a lot of good tweets. What did I write on Twitter? Let's see. This is what I wrote on Twitter. And I wrote it when I saw it a week and a half ago or whatever, and just waited to tweet it today. I said, ever watch a movie, see the reviews, and wonder what the actual fuck was everyone else watching? Cruella woofed harder than a Dalmatian for me. The music was dope. The costumes were cool. The performances were strong. But the story, woof, and the editing choices, woof, woof. And then somebody responded and saying, genuine question, is woof a good or a bad thing? And that made me laugh because I was like, I don't know how I actually describe here what woof is. Paul 3JP in the Streamlabs says, Bezos just released a statement about the MGM acquisition saying Amazon will reimagine studio franchises for the 21st century. Pretty bold, also a little eerie. LOL. Yes and yes. We'll see what that means. Glenn Caesar in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer said, I was considering Premiere Access for Cruella, but after hearing your take and Dan Merle's take too, yeah, apparently Dan and I agree on this one, which you know we don't do often. Now I'm saying nope. I'll wait till it's on Disney Plus. LOL. Redeeming Cruella. I don't want it. Oh well. I'm waiting on Black Widow Premiere Access now. LOL. Yeah, I'm excited for that. Isn't Loki coming out soon? Tonight? Tomorrow? Next week? When the fuck is Loki? Just was thinking about Disney and all the stuff that's going on over there. Anybody with any other additional question, comments, concerns, whether it's about Friends, Cruella, about anything else going on in personal lives? I am getting out of here in the next couple of minutes. Anything going on in my life? The Amazon acquisition of MGM. What it is that you're hoping to see over there? Questions, comments, concerns? Getting a call from a random number. Should we see? No. It's from Alabaster. What's Alabaster? Let's try it. Hello? No. Must have been a telemarketer because nothing was there. That made good fucking radio, friends. Good fucking radio. PLD says, I always seem to make it at the end, but better late than never. PLD, for sure, better late than never. That's what I'm talking about. You sometimes don't join us at all. So this is how we know better late than never. This is how we know. All right, friends, I am getting out of here. Hopefully, some of that support will come through a little. We'll slap a little harder tomorrow. Some days you win, some days you lose, some days you figure out how to sing the blues. What did she just say? In the Streamlabs, Glenn Caesar also did say, Roxy, manifesting things into your life works, but it takes a lot of focus, effort, and energy. But I appreciate you staying up super late to see the moon, even though it's not completely necessary to do something like that to manifest, but perhaps try a mantra. I've tried mantras before too. I try a lot of things, Glenn. You never know what's true and what works and whatever. So just give it all my best shot. Yeah. Tonight, 2 a.m, I will be live. So really tomorrow morning. Talking about Friends. Please come join me. Let me know what you guys think. Super chat in, Streamlabs in, just regular chat in, comment, like, subscribe, all that great stuff. Don't forget to join us tonight for World Girl Wednesday, where we are going live, even though it's our IRL episode. We're premiering a ton of stuff. We're also showing you all new merch, which is fucking sick, which we're stoked about. So there's gonna be opportunities to support us over there. Ryan Payne says, what about Paul Walter Hauser, Roxy? How was he? I gotta know. Well, I answered that. Where the fuck did you go, Ryan Payne? I literally spent time on that. I read it and I answered it. What? Y'all be crazy sometimes. All right. Make your beds. Hopefully you have already. Put down your toilet seat and live. We don't want those flumes. Check your internet by blowing on it. Brett, Miles, Jonathan, arrest the cops who killed Breonna Taylor. All 3 of them for killing Breonna Taylor. Don't trend with the Holocaust. Rest in peace, Chris Burke. We miss you. We love you. And we're thinking of you, Avery. Much love to all of you guys, friends. And I will see you tonight for World Girl Wednesday. And tomorrow, aka really late night tonight, live at the Roxy, because it's the Friends reunion, baby. Could I be any more excited?